morning, Cleo. You're 13 days old today, sweetie pie. She's very alert this morning. Hello everybody, thank you very much for joining us today. So it's Cleo's 2-week update. I can't believe she's 2 weeks old, and the same for me, but postpartum, post-labour. Cleo is doing really well. Her hair has got a little bit thicker and a little bit longer. And her eyes are still kind of a bluey grey, which is lovely. She is pretty good in terms of sleeping, so she wakes up every 2.5 to 3 hours for a feed. She kind of makes that grunting noise that you just heard. It's kind of like a snort, snuffle. She also does the grunts, and I actually call her my little velociraptor because she does sound like a little dinosaur when she makes those noises. So she kind of stirs herself awake, and then she'll kind of do this rooting. She goes, give me the booby, and then she'll feed for like 10 minutes. I'll change her nappy because she'll fall asleep and that wakes her up, and then I'll feed her again, and then she settles down back to sleep, and then she's good for another 2.5 to 3 hours. So she does seem like quite a chilled and content baby. I think maybe it's too early for me to say that because she's only 2 weeks old. Actually, she's just sleeping a lot, so that's probably why. It's lovely really, because I'm still catching up on my sleep. I'm still recovering. So the midwife came on day 10 and weighed her. Her birth weight was 8 pounds, just about 8 pounds. And she's now 8 pounds 5. And the midwife said that's pretty good going because a lot of breastfed babies tend to lose 10 to 20% of their birth weight. So the fact that she's gained is really good, and I can really see it in her face. She's really kind of filled out. They're born quite like wrinkly and scrunched up, and I definitely think like her face is filled out a little bit. We also had to go back to the hospital to have her BCG done, and she was really good as gold. She did cry a little bit when the needle went in because the lady puts in the needle quite horizontal. It's not like a vertical injection. It kind of goes in underneath the skin. But she had a little cry, and then she was fine after. And actually she had quite a few like injections. She's had quite a few like tests, like heel prick tests and that, and she's been as good as gold, and sometimes she doesn't even flinch. So she really is a good little baby. Mel and I also gave her first bath in her little snuggle bath, and we were really kind of apprehensive and worried about it because so many people had said how their babies had hated the bath. So we literally put her in and we were like, took a deep breath, and she was so serene and just so chilled. She went in it and she was like, oh, this feels a bit different, kind of looked around, really kind of curious, and then she was like, oh, this is nice, and kind of just relaxed. And it was a great first experience. We didn't use any creams or any soap or anything like that because they say not to, because their skin's so kind of fresh and delicate. And yesterday we went to the local council offices and we registered her. So her name is Cleo, and she has 2 middle names, one named after my mum and one named after Mel's grandmother, and then our surname. And we've got a little certificate for her, and we took some photos, and it was really nice. It was really exciting because it was like, are we sure we're going to name her this? Yes, we're really happy with her name. So that was really cool. She does that a lot, especially in her sleep when she's sleeping now. All right, sweetie, you okay? Are you having a poo-poo? What's the matter? You all right, baby? Sweetie. She's gone bright pink, so I think she's having a poo. You having a poo-poo, baby? Sorry, I just had to feed Cleo. So, are you wide awake now, baby girl? So in terms of how I'm doing 2 weeks post-labour, last week, the first week, I was suffering from mastitis, and I went to hospital and they told me to express the milk out or feed her to get the ducts empty, and they also gave me some fluoxetillin. So I think basically after 4 days I started to feel a lot better. I was expressing into the Nature Bond manual breast pump, and I was getting like up to 70 mils in there at a time. So I can feel when the breast is engorged and really full because it gets all lumpy on the left hand side, so I kind of massage it out and flush out all the milk, and it's been a lot better. And I do call that my super boob because this boob definitely produces more milk than the other side. Another good thing about the expressing, because it was really too sore to feed her off, is that my nipples had a rest, and now when she's latching on I'm much more aware of it and making sure she's latching on correctly, because I feel like the latch is better on this side than it is on that side, and she often slips off. So now I'm much more aware of it, and I'm just like Come on, stay on the booby. Okay, Cleo got a little bit crabbity, so she's just having some more now. She's having some dessert. Now I'm 2 weeks post-labour, I feel much more myself. Like, I've put on a bit of makeup today and I've put on a top. I think the first 2 weeks were really, really hard for me. I felt like I had been hit by a bus. Literally, labour for me was really brutal. And also to go for number 2 is really, really, it's actually painful. It's not just uncomfortable, it's really painful. I have to grip onto the toilet roll because the pain is so bad, and it's bad. Oh, ow, my booby. I'm actually taking some lactulose, which is a kind of, it helps with constipation, and that's what I'm suffering from at the moment. We have had a few visitors over. We got to one point where we were having visitors every day, and it just got too much hosting people. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's lovely to see friends and family, it really is, and to introduce them to Cleo and just to have some human interaction. But I just think because I had felt like I'd been knocked by a bus, it was really hard to have the energy to host. So we've kind of taken a break from doing that now, and I just want to concentrate on recovering completely. So yes, this is our 2-week update, and before we go, I wanted to quickly show you Cleo's outfit. It's from my auntie, and it's a pink dungarees, and look, she's lost a sock. I've come to realise that putting socks on a baby is really pointless because they just get lost or they fall off. But they're pink dungarees and they've got little cats all over them. So it's such a cute little set, and she's got a top on underneath. She's a little bit milk drunk now and hopefully will settle for the evening. But yeah, that's our 2-week update. Unfortunately, she hasn't opened her eyes, so I'll have to show you them another time. But thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Night night, bye bye.